guys, and welcome to a new video. Today we are going to be looking at the shortest historical fiction books on my TBR according to Goodreads. If you're wanting to read a lot of books, if you care more about quantity over quality, I'm joking, but if you want to get to your reading goal, make it easier to get to your reading goal, these are some books that you might want to pick up, and it might be an idea for the future. Let's get into it. As you can see on either side of your screen, I have Goodreads open on my phone, and how you find out which books are the shortest. Now, I have all the books on my TBR on shelves, and I sort it by genre. So we're going to go over to historical fiction, and then you see this sorted by, I clicked number of pages and then made it where it's the shortest, but also you can reverse, like right here, and do the longest books, but that is not why we are here today. Now, there are some of these books, these first 5 books on here, that have no info whatsoever. Now, I do know one of them is an ARC, and the others just have like no info on there because they haven't been updated to add the additions of how many pages there are, because some of these I know, like The Power of One is quite a long book. I actually got 2 of these books at Little Free, actually 3 from Little Free Libraries. We're not going to count these since it doesn't have the exact page number. They're just default at the bottom of the list because nobody has said how many pages they have. We're going to skip through those. And you see Lincoln of Barbados says 8 pages, which I know that's not true. That book is probably somewhere behind me, and you can see that book doesn't have 8 pages. Now, these are the books that we are going to focus on here. We're going to be looking at 4 books. First, we have The Dead Lake by Hamid Ismailov, which has an average rating of a 3.66 with 902 ratings, so not that many people have read this book. It was published in 2014, and the reason we're here, it is 128 pages. I think this is a translated piece from Kazakhstan, so a haunting Russian tale about the environmental legacy of the Cold War. And let's see, it's fiction, Kazakhstan, Russia, Asia, historical fiction. It's a novella, literary fiction, Russian literature, 21st century and contemporary. And also this is a piece of translated fiction. So if you're going to add translated fiction into your TBR, and if you are doing like the Read Around the World challenge, this is a book for Kazakhstan if you want to try that one out. Now, our next one I actually thought was a fantasy book, but it is a fantasy book, I think, with more of a historical setting, so think like Babel by R.F. Kuang. But this is Merchants of Milan, book 1 in the Night Flyer series by Eddie Lane with a 4.14, so a great rating, but only 150 people have rated the book. And this was published in 2020, and it's only 181 pages. Now let's go and see what this book is actually about. 3 powerful merchants, 2 independent women in love, 1 masked vigilante. So we're also getting some LGBT representation. Florentina, set on revenge for her father's murder, creates an alter ego known as the Night Flyer. Madalena, whose husband was also murdered, hires Florentina as a tutor for her children, and love blossoms between them. However, Florentina's vendetta is fraught with danger, and surprising developments start in both women's lives. Interesting. I don't know why I thought this was fantasy. Okay, it does say fantasy here. So historical fiction, fantasy, LGBT, historical, lesbian, romance, friends to lovers, lesbian fiction. Why did I want to read this book? Again, like our first book, we talked about the setting. Milan, I was actually there 10 years ago, and that hurts my heart that it's been that long since I've been to Italy. But I love the city of Milan. It's the favorite place I've ever been, and I want to read books that take place there. So if I see any, I'm going to grab it, not really caring what the plot's about. Now we had The Story of a Marriage by Andrew Sean Greer with a good rating of a 3.64. But 8,000 people, 8,545 people have rated this book. It was published in 2008 and is at 195 pages in length. This book I discovered through the LA Times. They did an article of 1,000 books that make the country, with each, part of the country having a section. And as you can see, this is the Bay Area. It has the Golden Gate Bridge on the cover. So this was for the California section on that article, Northern California to be specific. So from the best-selling author of The Confessions of Max Tivoli, a love story full of secrets and astonishment set in 1950s San Francisco. When you think San Francisco, in my opinion, I only think of like the 60s, 70s, Summer of Love time, but this is taking place 10 years before that. That's kind of fun. We think we know the ones we love, so Pearlie Cook begins her indirect and devastating exploration of the mystery at the heart of every relationship. How can we ever truly know another person? It is 1953, and Pearlie, a dutiful housewife, finds herself living in the Sunset District of San Francisco, caring not only for her husband's fragile health, but also for her son, who is afflicted with polio. Oh my gosh, that sounds like it's going to be such a hard thing to go through for our character, Pearlie. And I don't think I've ever read about polio before. Let's see the tags here. We have fiction, historical fiction, marriage, LGBT. I'm not sure where that is coming into play, but literary fiction, audiobooks. So if you want to do the audiobook, there seems to be one. The United States of America, novels, historical, and contemporary. Now, what is the last book we're going to look at? Now, this one is one that is like award-winning. It was on list of great books, and that is The Other Eden by Paul Harding, but it has a good rating of a 3.78, which this is the second highest we've seen, but it also has the most ratings of any of these books that we've discussed. It has 18,947 ratings. It's published in 2023 and is 224 pages. So this is the book and the video that is on the lengthier side, but it's still 224 pages. You could read these books in one day. But let's see what this one is about. This was, it was winner of the Pulitzer Prize, and it's this short. So if you're wanting to read Pulitzer Prize fiction, you might want to check this one out. And so set at the beginning of the 20th century and inspired by historical events, This Other Eden tells the story of Apple Island, an enclave off the coast of the United States where waves of castaways in flight from society and its judgment have landed and built a home. Benjamin Honey, American, Bantu, Igbo-born, enslaved, freed or fled at 15, aspiring orchardist, arrived on the island with his Irish wife, Patience, and discovered they could make a life together there. And then it's going more than a century later with the descendants of those people. And this one, I don't know, I think I just saw it on the shelf at Barnes & Noble one day, and then I discovered it was a Pulitzer Prize winner and had been on all these lists. But let's see some of its genres here. We have historical fiction, fiction, literary fiction, historical audiobooks, so there must be an audiobook, race, novels, literature, American, and African American. So this is even though we are just talking about 4 books here, you have a very diverse set of books. We have translated fiction with The Dead Lake. We have LGBT in Merchants of Milan, and apparently in The Story of a Marriage as well. And then This Other Eden is African American literature. And those are all of the books that I came here to talk about today for the shortest historical fiction books on my TBR. March is when I like to read historical fiction. So if you guys would like me to do more of these videos of looking at the shortest books on my TBR of a certain genre, let me know in the comments below, because I'd be happy to do that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it all the way through, leave a green emoji in the comments below. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in my next one. Bye! If you are familiar with my videos, you're used to seeing Sherman at the end of them. Sadly, Sherman has since passed away, but I would still like to encourage you guys to help your local shelters. Sherman was at the Darlington County Humane Society in rural South Carolina. I always have their link down below in the description if you guys would like to help them, but also help your local shelters as well. You can do that by donating, sharing posts like this one, volunteering, fostering, and adopting, which it's great to do all of those things. Great to help your community, great to help the animals in your community, and I cannot recommend it enough. All of my pets were rescues, they were strays or from animal shelters, and I love them so much, and I know how much love they can give, so knowing these pets at the shelter can equally give that much love, it's amazing. And y'all should totally take part and help out those local animal shelter pets, and please help them.